How many amps? Fucking all of them. Right, so front tyre of the Major at last. Now you'll remember that we had this other old tyre which was absolutely gone and split everywhere. We got hold of another tyre, which is a second-hand tyre because that doesn't look then mismatched with all the other tyres, you see what I mean. Tube, you can see here, tube's absolutely bollocksed all over in various places. However, got a new tube from Agriline, that was delivered the other day. Brilliant, so we've got this. That's got to go in there, and then we'll put a bit of wind in it. There. And start shoving this in there. We'll whack a little bit of fairy liquid around here just to make things go a little bit easier. I ain't got any proper tyre soup, obviously, but no doubt we're going to be as efficient as Dan would be and his lovely hair, but all the same we've got to do it. And once we don't nip the tube, that's the important bit. What Dan always say, little bites, did he say? Do it in little bites, don't get too greedy, always little bites. So there we go. Now, oh, still there, that's good. Right. So, this is the first time this old girl's been up on 4 wheels since I bought it at the auction. So, I'm quite pleased. However, we still have another little job to do before we can see if she actually moves, because we know it runs. We now got to see if we can sort this linkage out. Right, so those of you that haven't seen the previous video, I'll put a link to that at the end of this video and also in the description box below. On your right. Hang on, let me just move this. That's it. So the engine was completely buggered on this one when we got it, which is over here still, and she'd sort of split all between various parts of the head and whatever. Like you can see a little crack there, and she just, every one of them had got a split between it and whatever. So it's absolutely scrap, basically. However, the throttle linkage used to come to here and then go around the front of the tank, where it would then go onto the manifold, because they had the earlier type engine. Now, you'll get some of the purists to say, oh, well, you should have put the correct date-stamped engine in, or, you know, done the other engine up. Nonsense! If I'm going to put another engine in, I'll put in sort of the best one I can, really, for the time. So this is a later type Super Major engine, so the pump's slightly different than how it's set up, and you haven't got all the air feed thing, so where it, you know, actually throttles on the butterfly and does it through the governor on the vacuum system on the bellows in there. This one is like you see in a lot more modern tractors. So for me, it's a lot more cracky, and I just like these engines. But it's the correct engine. It's just little differences like the pump and stuff like that. But that comes with its own problems. So the old engine used to come down to here. You can see when you used to move the throttle, right? So that would go onto that linkage there, which would go onto this bit here, and then that would go through there, as we said, and out the other side, around the back of the engine. We need to get this one, which goes on the back of the pump directly. We need to join it onto there. That's just been snipped through, unfortunately. So I just need to put a bit of rod temporarily between there and that point. Where did it go? There it is. There. So I need to just join these two bits up, basically there. But anyway, for the time being, that's what we need to do. So let's go and get on with that. Right, sometimes you've just got to get shit done. Right, that's the bit that goes up at the throttle end. That's the bit that goes down the pump end. And this is the only bit of steel I've got that'll do for the time being. Yes, I know it's a lot bigger and whatever, but the point is, it'll get me through until I get a proper piece of this rod and can form one up. But anyway, for the time being, that'll do. Now, I know there'll be people that say, oh, you should use the right size and right diameter metal and join the two together and the steel should be the same. You got no time for that crap! Now, Kimberly, who knows about her welding, said to me, you're going to get absolutely mullered by some of the people that follow your channel that are on the welding forum that she's on. Being judged by people on a welding forum carries about as much weight for me as a CRB check by Jimmy Savile. Now, I love these little thermal arc inverter welders. We've got all the MIG stuff, and we've got bloody plasma cutters and other arc welders, all the welders you want. But at the end of the day, this thing is just brilliant. You can take it anywhere. It's got loads of power for the size of it. I just absolutely love it. Now, obviously, you also have to, you know, with the right size rod for the right size metal, and you have to get the right amount of amps for the setting on your welder. How many amps? Fucking all of them.
I can't see fucking shit out of this thing.
So, it's not pretty, but it's fun. Look, it's a throttle. It's not like we're going to be lifting 10-ton weights with it or something like that. It's just a throttle linkage. And it'll do until I get some, I had to check, about 6mm rod, and then I can bend a new one, a complete single piece one. And I think I'd buy a couple of adjusters, so we can thread the ends, and we can actually put a threaded adjuster so it can take any slack. Might as well do it like that. But that'll be for another day. So, yeah, we've got a throttle linkage now. Just got to get stuff done. As I said, it's not pretty, but it gets stuff done. Right, I'll put a battery on here because we know she starts up. Oils have been done, filters have been done. She's got fuel in here, new hoses. I've just got to stick a bit of coolant in there actually. It's nothing I've got to do. But the battery on, and we'll get her fired up, fingers crossed. But then we'll have to check if she actually moves, because we had the engine out and obviously adjusted all the clutch to get the pins out to split the clutch apart, and I don't know if the clutch is correctly adjusted or anything. I don't know if she'll actually drive. I got fairly good confidence that she will, but I don't know. So let's get her battery on. Right, she's out of gear. We've got coolant in her now. I'll make sure I can ready to hop up in case she does what I roll forward, you never know. But that's there. Booster pack's on standby in case we need it. Hopefully we won't, but she's there anyway. And we'll give it a go. Well, I've got to say, I'm really pleased, I'm really happy. So I bought this at that auction as a non-runner, completely seized, and yeah, well, you know the story was, you know, and as I said, I'll put a link to that video when we did the engine swap at the end of this video, and I'll put it in the description box below as well, so you can go and watch that so you know the full story behind it. But as I said, yes, she's surface rust and all that, but it's just so solid. Lights are all still in place, the original lights and everything. And as I said before, little details which I love. Like, oh, there's rust there, but you've still got that original sticker there saying about the position control and all that, the quadritrol. That's just, I love all that. So, yeah, got the other engine in. It runs really well, I mean, there's no two ways about that. Where do we go from here? Right, so we know she starts, she runs, she drives, and actually stops. Brakes are very, very good. But I knew that, funnily enough. One thing I did know was that the brakes were good, because when I was loading it and unloading it, being pushed onto the trailer, when we picked up and unloaded it, the brakes worked. They were good. And so the next thing we can do with this is tell you what we'll do, we're going to degrease it and wash it all down, get all this grime and bloody gunge off all over here. We'll get her a good sort of clean down, and then we'll see exactly what we got. Then we can put the tin work back on, the front cowl and the bonnet, and all that can all go back on, and she'll start looking like a tractor. And then I think what we'll do, we'll take for a little run. Yeah, but, you know, shame not to, wouldn't it? Right, which brings us on to the Dexter. So, right, well actually before the Dexter, let's leads up to the Dexter. Right. As you know, we've been doing work on the Leyland 602 for the Collie Dog Rescue. All right. There's an old saying, more haste, less speed. So I filled up my degreaser can with Shift, which is the degreaser I use. Fantastic stuff. As I was just doing it now, I thought, I don't know, doesn't seem to be doing much. That I hadn't looked at the labels. I'd actually filled the degreaser with deionised water. So in effect, Muckers, all I've done is I've simply blessed the tractor.
That would be an ecumenical matter!
Yeah, it's become a bit of a, I wouldn't say a nightmare, but we've done one thing and then the other. So everybody helped out with, you know, buying the t-shirts and whatever, and that helped us get some parts and that for the fuel system. We completely redid the fuel system, which is a big problem, and that's done. Did some welding as well and sorted that out, sorted some electrical stuff out. Then we had to go and do the brakes and found out that the brake, all the cylinders, master cylinders and that, wanted re-sealing and honing and whatever, and, you know, done. And it's just, it's a bit of a money pit, but so be it. That's what happens, isn't it? And now we found all the linkages to see. So they're in soak every day. They're getting soaked in diesel and tapped, and they're starting to free up. But we know the brakes work. It's just the linkages in between. So between that and that, hopefully we can get working brakes. But to do that, we really need to get the back wheels off. To really do that, it needs to be in here. And to do that, we need to get this out. Hence, what we've done today is a massive step forward, because she's on the button now, and I can fire her up and move her out, get the Leyland in here and work on her. On to then, I don't know where this started. I then got a load of messages last week saying, oh, hey, you're selling the Dexter. And I'm like, no, who told you that? So somebody started something, I don't know, but, oh, you're selling that Dexter. No, I'm not. But then I thought, or should I? Should I sell the Dexter? Now we know we've done all the stuff to it, we've done all the filters and everything, we had a change, we've got it starting better. She's still not perfect, but it's a Dexter. They never did start perfect, but anyway, it's better. We've still got that here, don't forget if you need it, she's still there. Oh yes. But the Dexter runs well and it drives well. There's one or two issues. There's things such as like this, you know, that she sticks in gear. Well, we know that, but guess what? Very kindly, Agriline have said, don't worry about that, Kurt, we'll help you with this, because I had an idea, and I spoke to Agriline about it, and this is what we're going to do. What I plan to do is carry on and finish doing all those little bits, doing them gear levers, which, as I said, Agriline have very kindly sent me one of the gear lever systems, you know, the top box thing you bolt on. Plus, you know, as I said, done all the filters and stuff like that. But once I've done all that and sort of gone through it a bit more, I'm going to sell it. And I'm going to sell it, probably do it like on a sealed bid thing, so people can, like, you know, DM me on Instagram or on Facebook Messenger or whatever and put their bid in. I've already had some bids, like when people thought I was selling it before. And then what I'm going to do, any profit we make, once it's done and sold, any profit we make will go straight to the collie dogs. Simple as that.
Like I said, he's a proper farm working dog. Tom was in his day, as I said, and a really good one. But as soon as he lost his sight, he just be like having a tractor that, you know, throws a rod and loses its engine. Just no good. But anyway, doesn't matter, Tom, does it? You're living your best life, aren't you? So there we go. You can say bye-bye? Tom says bye-bye. Apparently that's bye-bye from Tom. Good boy.
But there we go. So yes, I am going to sell the Dexter, just probably through public pressure. But as I said, when we do it, we'll do it through like a sealed bid thing, and then all the profit will go to the collie dogs. All right? Right, now this is on the button as such. We're going to have a good clean up in here now, because basically throughout the winter we've had loads of projects on the go, as you know, and this thing has been stuck in the way because I said, well, no engine. But now she's back on the button and I can move her. We're going to have a bit of a swap around in here, and the old Fud Weasel's done his project, so we're going to sort of bring everything this way a little bit. Good clear up, got some other benches and bits and bobs to come in here, so we can probably get the Leyland in here at some point. But yeah, so you'll see we're going to sort of have a bit of a tart up in here, so that'll be something a bit new. But anyway, the other thing is a video that's coming up next time, which is one that people have been asking me, and there's literally for years they've been asking me to do it, is what to look for when buying a used excavator. And when I was earlier this year, I was up at Ritchie Brothers, I took the chance, dragged one off the line one day and actually got it inside and did that video.
An hour or two with a bit of cutting compound, and you'd imagine that that will come back up and look quite nice.
Wax on, wax off.
And that's a video for people, whether you're just interested in, you know, excavators in general, diggers and whatever, or, you know, that's showing what we look for when we're looking to buy one, or when we're looking on behalf of a client, or maybe you yourselves are in the market for a digger. Basically the principles, whether it's a little micro, a little 0.8, right up to like a 80 tonne or whatever, are basically the same, and we go through that in the video. So that'll be up next time. In the meantime, as I said, I'll be filming, cleaning this all down. I'll be filming, doing the Dexter. Might do a little bit more on the 1080. See, I want to see, we've got that running, that old 1080 of the Fud Weasels. But I didn't drive it, did I? Didn't drive it. So, I might try and sneak that in there and get a bit of footage of that, alright? Was it that time again? Yes? Looks like it is, muckers. But anyway, you know we've got lots coming up. We've got to put the tin work back on this once we've, you know, degreased it and cleaned it down, see what else it needs. We've now got the Dexter to go through. We've got the Leyland. Yes, I know I'm telling about the collie dog tractor. Yeah, we've got that, get the brakes up. We've also got the video on what to look for when buying a used excavator. And yeah, like she just said, you know, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. You know, it all helps us do what we do. And it's good to see people joining in. I know. So there we are. Anyway, until the next one. Do well.